गोविंद बोल।
क्लासी बना
बोल हरि बोल हरि। We will live. हरि हरि बोल। मुकुंद मानव गोविंद। We'll type in for today's message. ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्युर्मा अमृतं गमय। ओम गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुसाक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ओम कोमलांगं सीता समारोपितवामभागं पाणौ महासायकं नमाम्यहं रघुवंशाखम्। ॐ वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानंदं कृष्णं वंदे जगद्गुरुम्। ओम नागेन्द्रहाराय त्रिलोचनाय भस्मांगरागाय महेश्वराय नित्याय शुद्धाय दिगंबराय तस्मै नकाराय नमः शिवाय। ओम मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयूथमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शरणं प्रपद्ये। ओम शान्ताकारं भुजगशयनं पद्मनाभं सुरेशं विश्वाधारं गगनसदृशं मेघवर्णं शुभांगं लक्ष्मीकान्तं कमलनयनं योगिभिर्ध्यानगम्यं वन्दे विष्णुं भवभयहरं सर्वलोकैकनाथम्। ॐ सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके शरण्ये त्र्यंबिके गौरी नारायणी नमोस्तुते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। Prayers once again, my warm welcome and my warm prostrations to each and everyone who joined together in glorifying Bhagwan Shri Ganesha. Gajanana Jai Gananayak Mangalamurti Gananayak. Glorifying Bhagwan Shri Ganesha, the removal of all the obstacles from the pathway of life. Gajanana Jai Gananayak Mangalamurti Gananayak. Gajanana Jai Gananayak Mangalamurti Gananayak. Gajanana Jai Gananayak Mangalamurti Gananayak. Mangalamurti Ganaraja Siddhivinayak गणराजा मंगलमूर्ति गणराजा गजानना जय गणनायक मंगलमूर्ति गणनायक गजानना जय गणनायक मंगलमूर्ति गणनायक गजानना हर दुख हरता गजानना हर सुख करता गजानना हर दुख हरता गजानना गजानना जय गणनायक मंगलमूर्ति गणनायक गजानना जय गणनायक मंगलमूर्ति गणनायक शंकर पुत्र गजानना हरि पुत्र गजानना शंकर पुत्र गजानना गजानना जय गणनायक मंगलमूर्ति गणनायक गजानना जय गणनायक मंगलमूर्ति गणनायक गणपति बप्पा मोरया 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 आओ प्रभु मेरे आओ मंगल मूर्ति आओ आओ प्रभु मेरे आओ मंगल मूर्ति आओ आओ प्रभु मेरे आओ मंगल आओ प्रभु मेरे आओ मंगल मूर्ति आओ गणपति बप्पा मोरया 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 गणपति बप्पा गणपति बप्पा मोरया 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 गणपति बप्पा मोरया। बोले श्री गणेश भगवान की जय। Having glorified Ganesh Ji, we now turn to Saraswati Ma, the embodiment of wisdom, the embodiment of knowledge. शारदे शारदे हंसवाहिनी 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 जगत कारिणी संसार हारिणी जगत कारिणी संसार हारिणी कल्याणकारिणी तुझी प्रिय दर्शिनी कल्याणकारिणी तुझी प्रिय दर्शिनी शारदे शारदे हंसवाहिनी शारदे शारदे हंसवाहिनी गीतगायिनी संगीत वादिनी वीणवादिनी देवी विद्यादायिनी वीणवादिनी देवी विद्यादायिनी शारदे 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 हंसवाहिनी ज्ञानदायिनी अज्ञाननाशिनी ज्ञानदायिनी ज्ञाननाशिनी विदायिनी तुही मोक्षदायिनी क्लेशहारिणी तुही मोक्षदायिनी शारदे शारदे हंसवाहिनी शारदे शारदे हंसवाहिनी विश्वमोहिनी मैया कलादायिनी कलादायिनी कमलवासिनी तुही श्वेतधारिणी कमलवासिनी तुही श्वेतधारिणी शारदे शारदे हंसवाहिनी शारदे शारदे हंसवाहिनी शारदे शारदे हंसवाहिनी शारदे शारदे हंसवाहिनी। बोले श्री सरस्वती मैया की जय। Having glorified Ganesh Ji and Saraswati Ma, let's turn to Bhagavan Shri Krishna. Manmohana Madhusudana, Govinda Jai Gopala. Manmohana Madhusudana, Govinda Jai Gopala, Govinda Jai Gopala. मनोहरा सुना गोविंदा जय गोपाला गोविंदा जय गोपाला। हे केशव हे माधव मनोहर लाला केशव हे माधव मुरली मनोहर लाला मुरली मनोहर लाला मनमोहना मधुसूदना गोविंदा जय गोपाला गोविंदा जय गोपाला। श्याम गोपाला दीन दयाला परम कृपाला नंदलाला परम कृपाला नंदलाला श्याम गोपाला दीन दयाला परम कृपाला नंदलाला परम कृपाला नंदलाला मनमोहना मधुसूदना गोविंदा जय गोपाला गोविंदा जय गोपाला। हे केशव हे माधव मुरली मनोहर नंदलाला मुरली मनोहर नंदलाला। कृष्ण मुरारी कुंज विहारी गोवर्धन हे गिरिधारी गोवर्धन हे गिरिधारी कृष्ण मुरारी कुंज विहारी गोवर्धन हे गिरिधारी गोवर्धन हे गिरिधारी। मनमोहना मधुसूदना गोविंदा जय गोपाला गोविंदा जय गोपाला मनमोहना मधुसूदना गोविंदा जय गोपाला गोविंदा जय गोपाला। हे केशव हे माधव मुरली मनोहर नंदलाला मुरली मनोहर नंदलाला मोहन मधुसूदना गोविंदा जय गोपाला गोविंदा जय गोपाला गोविंदा जय गोपाला गोविंदा जय गोपाला गोविंदा जय गोपाला। बोले श्री कृष्ण भगवान की जय। Beloved friends, once again, a warm welcome to you all as we join this evening in a beautiful text called the Kathopanishad. In this Kathopanishad, it's a dialogue between Yamaraj and Nachiketa. Yamadharmaraja is the governing principle of life and death. And Yamaraj, having been given that responsibility, whenever Yamaraj visits someone, he takes that individual along. Death does announce his arrival. Yamaraj announce his arrival to anyone's home. Instead, he comes and visits you and takes you with him. He comes and visits me and takes me with him. Any one of us. Nachiketa, on the other hand, is a young child, probably about 8 or 9 years of age. And in the Kathopanishad is a scenario in which this son Nachiketa communicating with his father, because the father is performing a yajna, and in that yajna, cows are given out as gifts to individuals. But Nachiketa saw his father giving gifts that are not worthy of given. Meaning, he was given cows to individuals in which these cows can no longer give offspring. One, they can no longer give milk. And it was of no value to the king again, but he was given away in his yajna. So the son inquired from his father, "To whom shall you give me?" And the father did not take on the son because there were so many other brahmanas and other kings and many devotees who have joined together in this yajna. And while he was given out gifts, the son Nachiketa asked his father, "To whom shall you give me?" The father did not pay attention to the son. He did not pay any notice to the son. Then the son asked the question again, "To whom are you going to give me?" And the father was feeling kind of embarrassed because all these guests are there and the son is in the presence of the father and asking the father this question, "To whom shall you give me?" The third time the child asked the question to the father became very angry. And in a spur of a moment, when the son Nachiketa asked the father, "To whom shall you give me?" the father said, "I shall give you to Yamaraj, to the governing principle of death." In that haste, the child left and went. Now, some may ask the question, how did a young child Nachiketa reach the abode of Yamaraj? We will not go into that scenario itself, but more so we're going to take up the topic of Shreyas and Preyas in this text tonight. But he went to the abode of Nachiketa, to Yamaraj. And Nachiketa, having gone to the abode of Yamaraj, Yamaraj was not at home. He was not at home. And the young boy, Nachiketa, decided to wait, and not having any food to eat and anything to drink, because Yamaraj Dulahim was home, and she saw him, and she offered him food and so on. He refused to accept it until he meets Yamadharmaraj. And after about 2 days, Yamaraj came, returned home. And having returned, his wife told him what happened, and he was kind of disturbed. Someone came to my home, did not have any food, anything to drink, and let me visit him. And Yamaraj welcomed him, and he said to Nachiketa, "Being that I was absent for 2 days, I will grant you 2 boons. And he told him what boons he can ask for. Nachiketa told Yamaraj, "I don't want these boons, you keep it for yourself." I will not go into details of the boon, but it was anyone will run after those boons. He was given him any amount of kingdom he wants to rule, any amount of gold and diamond and silver and treasury, cows, farmlands, the entire kingdom, and how many wives he can have. So many things he offered to Nachiketa. Nachiketa told Yamadharmaraj, "You keep it for yourself. I don't want that." Nachiketa was a sadhaka, a spiritual aspirant who had a burning quest about the life and the life hereafter. What happens when the Atman, when the body is dropped, when the body is given up? Tell me. So, having asked the question to Yamadharmaraj, Yamaraj is now your extra and extra boon. He told Yamaraj, I don't want any of these things. You keep it yourself. All I want to know is about the Atman and what happens after death. Yamaraj, seeing the sincerity and seeing the earnest quest of his sadhaka, a spiritual aspirant, Yamaraj decided to teach Nachiketa. And in the second section, in the Dvitiya Valli, the second section, two verses, verses 1 and 2, they both highlight Shreyas and Preyas. What is Shreyas? It also comes in the Srimad Bhagavad Gita also. In chapter 3, verse 11, in chapter 16, verse 22, in chapter 12, it also comes in different parts of the Gita. The two words, Shreyaha and Preyaha, or Shreyas and Preyas. These two words, we will see what it means and how we have a choice to make in life. So, in the second of the Upanishad, before we go into that section itself, we shall do the invocation mantram of the Kathopanishad. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. In this beautiful mantram, in the opening of the Kathopanishad, it's a prayer in which it says Sahana Avatu, means Sahanau Avatu. Please practice both the teacher and the taught, the student and the guru, Sahanau Bhunaktu. Please nourish us both. Saha Viryam Karavavahe. May we both exert energy together. Tejasvina Vadhitamastu. May this stage become Mavidvishavahehi. Let there be no misunderstanding between us, between both of us. This is the prayer between the teacher and the guru. What a fantastic prayer. When one wants to learn, we approach a guru. And the prayer is, may both of us be protected from all possibilities. The possibility of the student losing interest, that's one. Two, whether the teacher is inspired or not. It is a prayer in which both parties are going to benefit. So if the student is prepared, the teacher is prepared, then the beautiful lesson will be learned. If the teacher is prepared and the student is not prepared, nothing takes place. If the student is prepared and the teacher is not prepared, nothing takes place. But when both parties, this teacher and the student, the guru and the shishya, then it's a beautiful unfolding of knowledge and a reception in which the shishya, the disciple, receives that information. So, having seen this beautiful opening mantra, we now go into the second section of Dvitiya Valli of the Kathopanishad, section 2, verse 1. It says, Anya Shreyo Anyat Utaiva Preyaste Ubhe Narthe Usita Ayushre Adanasya Sadhur Bhavati Hiyate Arthat Ya Upreyah Vrinite. In this beautiful opening stanza of the second section, the first verse, Yamaraj said, he said, Anya Shreya. One thing is good. Anyat Utaiva Preyah Te. Another is pleasant. Of these two, and that individual who chooses the eternal good is no doubt indeed intelligent. But he who chooses the seemingly pleasant loses the true end and meaning of life. Let's analyze this whole scenario. The two pathways of life, Shreyas and Preyas. The eternal good, Shreyas, and Preyas, the seemingly pleasant. Most of us, majority of the world, the individuals in the world, run after the Preyas, the seemingly pleasant. The seemingly pleasant is enticing. It glitters. Name and fame and power and position. Kama, wealth, women and mind at our disposal. You just name any possibility, all materialistic gains, all worldly attachments and comforts and luxuries that fall under Preyas, that which is seemingly pleasant but detrimental at the ultimate. Whereas Shreyas, the eternal good, may seem to be difficult to pursue in the beginning, but is most rewarding at the end. It is like medicine. For our benefit, we refuse the medicine because it is bitter, and that is beneficial to us. But that which is not beneficial to us, we consume other beverages. We know what is right and what is wrong, yet we still do the wrong. Meaning, we know what is beneficial in food-wise, what is best for us in food, in the line of food. We prefer to give up the best type of nutritious food for junk. It is delicious, no doubt, the Preyas. The junk food is delicious, but it's not healthy at the same time. At the end, there are many complications. In a similar manner, Preyas is like that. Seemingly enticing and pleasant in the beginning, but the end is detrimental. Whereas Shreyas, the eternal good, happens to be what? The best medicine for us. But because it seems to be what? As though difficult to pursue, as though very hard to pursue. The majority of the people of the world shun the path of the eternal good and embrace the path of the seemingly pleasant. In the book called Dorasti, a song that is given, Dorang Dunya Ke aur Dorasate. In this philosophical song, it tells us there are two pathways. The path of Shreyas, the eternal good, the path of Preyas, seemingly pleasant. Every moment we are confronted with these two pathways. They present themselves to us. The intelligent man chooses the Shreyas, the eternal good. One pathway, the eternal good, Shreyas, leads to the divine. And the other pathway leads to the gutters in life. The choice is given to you and I. Choose the path. And we cannot blame anyone for the choices that we have made in life. Dorang dunya ke aur dorasate. Dorang dunya ke aur dorasate. Dorang dunya ke aur dorasate. Do roop jeevan ke जीने के वास्ते दो रंग दुनिया के और दो रास्ते दो रूप जीवन के जीने के वास्ते दो रंग दुनिया के और दो रास्ते और दो रास्ते समझा दो हर दीवाने को समझा दो हर दीवाने भूल न जाए, रात को खाना खाए, रंग दुनिया के और दो रास्ते, रंग दुनिया के और दो रास्ते, दो रूप जीवन के जीने के वास्ते, दुनिया के और दो रास्ते, और दो रास्ते। ऐसे लोग जो औरों की खातिर जीते हैं, औरों की खातिर जीते हैं, दूसरे वो जो अपनी खातिर अपनों का खून पीते हैं, औरों का खून पीते हैं। कोई फूल खिलाए, कोई कांटे खिलाए, और दो रास्ते, दो रंग दुनिया के और दो रास्ते, दो रूप जीवन के जीने के वास्ते, दो रंग दुनिया के और दो रास्ते, और दो रास्ते, दो रंग दुनिया की। There are two colors in the world. Meaning, the color that is bright, the color that is dark. The color that is white leads us to the path of spiritual peace. The path that is dark leads us to the gutter in life. दो रंग दुनिया के और दो रास्ते. These are two pathways. The path that uplifts, the path that pulls us down. Hence, in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, verse 5 of the Gita, Bhagavan Krishna highlights, Uddharedatmanatmanam natmanam avasadet atme bhahyatmano bandhu atme varipuratmanah Uddhared atmanatmanam na atmanam avasadet. Uplift yourself, O man. Never degrade yourself. The call of the Gita, the call of the Upanishads, the call of the great masters for mankind to evolve, to climb the ladder of spiritual success. No doubt it may seem difficult at the beginning. Everything that we do in life has challenges. And the more challenges that present themselves to us, we come to explore our fullest potential. So there's nothing wrong with any aspect of exerting energy. Hence the opening mantra says, Saha Viryam Karavavahe. We exert our energy together. The teacher and the taught, the guru and the shishya, the student and the teacher. So it is good that we have to test ourselves at times, be it in the path of Shreyas or the path of Preyas. We are confronted every moment with these two scenarios. Which we choose? Or Durasati. There are two pathways in which we are confronted. Life presents these to think carefully before you place your feet in any pathways. Please explain to others, please tell others, warn others of the pitfalls of the path that pulls you down, and highlight to them the benefits of the path that pulls you up, that takes you to divine. One path leads to the divine. The second path, the Mansha, that is the most beautiful pathway. No, it is enticing, no doubt. It seems to be pleasant, and which you will run after. See, corruption from the lowest rung in life to the highest rung in the ladder is corruption and bribe. from all different levels of society, you will see individuals. How many are willing to work and sacrifice and do not bend and bow to bribery and corruption? See, one path, no doubt, seems to be pleasant. It's easy for us in the beginning, but the end is most detrimental. Whereas the path of Shreyas, the eternal, it seems to the beginning seems to be very difficult, most rewarding, most beneficial at the end. Very few are those who embrace the path of Shreyas, because discipline entails it. तो सोच पे पांव रखे समझा भगाने को रास्ता पे जाते हैं एक दूसरे मैदान को ले जाते हैं रास्ता में जाते forget not the path that takes you to the divine. There are two types of individuals in the world. One who sacrifices for others, one who is selfless, and the second is a selfish person. He wants to एक है ऐसे लोग और की खातिर जीते हैं. So there are two types of individual. One lives for the sake of others, sacrificing for the happiness of others. वो जो अपनी खातिर for one's own selfish gains, अपनों का खून पीते हैं, they drink their own blood, औरों का खून पीते हैं, they drink the blood of others, meaning exploit others. Shreyas and Preyas. So know that Nachiketa, one is good while the other is pleasant. That individual who chooses the eternal good Shreyas is no doubt the intelligent one, the wise one. And the individual who chooses the path of Preyas, the seemingly pleasant, that individual, what happens? Will end up in the gutters of life. Not because the universe, there are individuals who say that the universe is out destroyed them. What is sad situation? The universe does not work against you. You and I have opportunity. The universe, you and I into the universe. And it's given us everything for us. We are not seeing that. We want it our way. We don't want it the way the universe presents it. As though we can do better than the universe. And then we come up with a theory, oh, the entire universe is trying to destroy. No, it's not that. Shreyas is the eternal good. These two paths are given. You choose, O man. And whatever the choice you and I make, there are consequences of positive and negative. So, a disciple, a shishya is tested. Yamadharmaraj is testing the disciple by presenting kingdoms of any amount he can manage. Cows and horses and elephants, you just name it, at his disposal. But Nachiketa is not materialistic. He has no desire to enjoy the material pleasures of life. And he tells Yamaraj, you keep it for yourself. I want to know one thing, and that is the Atman, about life and death. What happens with the Atman at the time of death? This is the question. And when Yamaraj saw the intensity of discipline and the research, the quest of life, Yamaraj had no other choice but to teach Nachiketa. And he's presenting a scenario again to him, right? That he's trying to sway him on the path of Preyas, but no, Nachiketa is much more intelligent for a young child at the age of 8 or 9 probably. Now, this Shishya, this uncle, he's a mature student in the path of spiritual quest. Why? Which 9-year-old child will spiritual quest? When you and I introduce our children to what? Toys from infancy, luxury and comforts from infancy. Whereas Nachiketa is renouncing the luxuries and comforts. So it tells us, in spite of age, how mature he was. In comparison to you and I, 50 years, 60 years, 75 years, and we are still immature. Why? We are running after the material pleasures of life. Look at the difference between Nachiketa and you and I, and see the difference. So this state of desirelessness on the part of Nachiketa, indeed, it's a spiritual path, the spiritual quest. He's climbing the ladder of spirituality, Nachiketa. And Yamaraj himself, the governing principle of life and death, is teaching him this whole concept of life and death. So both these two, Shreyas and Preyas, we all want that every life form seek one goal, and that is Sukha Prapti, to shun scenario, situation, about Dukkha, sorry, Sukha Prapti and Dukkha Nivritti. These are two natural urges in every life form. Even a dog in the cold winter is looking for some comfort, for some warmth. You and I are the same. You and I desire happiness. We are in search of happiness where we can't find it. We are in search of happiness in the objects and the beings of the world. The objects and the beings of the world cannot give us happiness. It may give you comfort and luxury, but not happiness, my friends. Hence, Nachiketa wants the eternal good, the Shreyas. You and I are still hooked on, we are still attached to what? Preyas, the seemingly pleasant. That which is pleasing or pleasant in the beginning, but detrimental at the end. So every moment, we are confronted with these choices. To me, should I do? Should I not do? Should I go? Should I not go? We are always in that state of doubt. Should I do or should I not do? And this state of doubt is at the level of the mind. Nachiketa is much more mature in that sense. He knows exactly what he wants. He does not want the material pleasures and comforts and luxuries of life. He wants to know the ultimate. That is the highest knowledge. And this is what Nachiketa is receiving from the Guru, Dharmaraj. So, one path leads to the eternal good, the other path leads to the gutters in life. In the Bhagavad Gita, also in chapter 3, verse 11, in chapter 16, verse 22, the word Shreyas comes. Even in chapter 12 also, and many other verses, the word Shreyas comes. Why is it that Bhagavan Krishna mentioned Shreya or Shreyas? All because he wants to highlight what is best for mankind. Every parent wants what is best for their children. But the children, do they want that for themselves? You know, it's like really interesting. Life is very interesting. I remember many decades ago when I returned to Trinidad from India, I met a Nani in the village and we had a nice discussion. We meet on a regular basis. And she was about 75 at that time. But now she passed on and so on. And she said to me one day, she says, Baba, there is no Bhagwan, you know. So I said, Nani, why do you say so? She said, when I was small, as a little girl, I was praying to Bhagwan, but Bhagwan never answered my prayer. Then I grew up into maturity. I continued praying to Bhagwan and my prayers were not answered. Then I got married. I got my spouse, I got children. I kept on praying to Bhagwan, but my prayers were not answered. And even till today, I'm still praying and my prayers are not answered. So I said to Nani, Nani, can you tell me one thing? What was your prayer? Would you like to tell me? She said, yes, Baba, I'll tell you. She said, when I was small, my mother and father used to fight every day because my father comes home drunk every day, quarreling and fighting with my mother. And every day I pray to Bhagwan I asked Bhagwan to allow my father to stop drinking. My father drank his entire life. He dead and gone. He never stopped drinking. My prayers were not answered. One day I asked for my brother to stop drinking. All of them have died and they have never stopped drinking. Then, when I got married, I asked Bhagwan the prayer that my husband stopped drinking. Poor fellow, he died also and went, he never stopped drinking. Then all my sons I asked for to stop drinking. They all did not stop drinking. Some died and some are still alive. I said, Nani, I want you to do something for me. Stop praying for anyone and start thanking Bhagwan. You are mature than all these individuals put together, because you have seen how alcohol has destroyed family. You have chosen the path of the yes, the good. These other individuals, your parents, your father more so, your brothers, your spouse, your sons, they have chosen the path of prayers. You are still here and your prayer is sincere. Stop praying for anyone and start praying to Bhagwan, expressing your gratitude and thanks to Bhagwan that you are able to become an inspiration. She even prayed for her grandsons, but they never stopped drinking. And when I told her to stop praying for anyone and start praying for yourself, you have to be selfish in order to be selfless. You have to learn the art of how to love yourself first in order to love someone. When you are traveling on a plane and before takeoff, the air hostess will tell you, in case of the drop of pressure, the mask face will fall. You put on your mask for oxygen and then see others. So first you have to secure yourself, then secure others. You can't secure others when you are suffering. In a similar manner. Learn the art how to be selfish first to become selfless. First, I must work on myself. Shreyas. I'm taking the path of Shreyas. I'm working on myself. I spend time on myself, contemplating, reflecting, pondering, avoiding all unnecessary worldly pursuits. Others may make statements about you. That's not a problem because you're not affected by it. Nachiketa is not affected by these statements. Others. And he achieved the eternal good. And the second verse, so the path of the prayers and Shreyas continuously bombard us every moment. You have a choice to make. Having seen the path of prayers making so much, we are suffering so much because of the choices we make of material pleasures, engaging in material pleasures of life, running after all the luxuries and comfort. How much we have to work so hard. Think about it. And the second verse is now in Kathopanishad, in the second Valli. Shreyascha preyascha manushyam ete etah tau tam paritya vivinakti dhiraha shreyi dhiru abhi preyaso vrinite preyo mando yogaksheman vrinite. So Shreyas and Preyas. Shreyascha, Preyascha. Both these approach the mortal, mankind, Manushya. Shreyascha and Preyacha. Both Shreyas and Preyas, Manushya, they approach mankind, the mortal. At every step in our lives, at every stage in our lives, at every moment of our lives. Whereas the intelligent man, what happens? He chooses between two. He chooses the wise path, the path of Shreyas. And the man who chooses what? The path of Preyas. He is considered ignorant, not in a bad sense, but meaning he falls lower in the journey of existence, in the ladder of evolution. Why? Because for the sake of the body and the mind and the senses, he chooses the Preyas. Like animals, they choose the path of the senses, mankind. And what happens? These sensations, these moments of pleasures of the world, of name and fame and power and position, all these things, what happens? We fall a prey to it. And before we continue, let's join together. Glorifying Bhagavan Krishna. Bol Hari, Bol Hari, Hari Bol. Keshava Madhava Govinda Bol. Bol Hari, Bol Hari, Hari Hari Bol. Bol Hari, Bol Hari, Hari Hari Bol. Keshav Madhav Govinda Bol. Keshav Madhav Govinda Bol. Bol Hari, Bol Hari, Hari Hari Bol. Bol Hari, Bol Hari, Hari Hari Bol. Keshav Madhav Govinda Bol. Keshav Madhav Govinda Bol. Hari Hari Bol, Bol Hari, Bol Hari, Hari Hari Bol. Keshav Madhav Govinda Bol. Keshav Madhav Govinda Bol. Keshav Madhav Govinda Bol. Keshav Madhav Govinda Bol. कृष्ण कहो चाहे श्याम कहो कैसा सुंदर है यह नाम कृष्ण कहो चाहे श्याम कहो नाम की महिमा है अनमोल नाम की महिमा है अनमोल केशव माधव गोविंद बोल केशव माधव गोविंद बोल Bol Hari, Bol Hari, Hari Hari Bol. Bol Hari, Bol Hari, Hari Hari Bol. Krishna Govinda Bol. Bol Hari, Bol Hari, Hari Hari Bol. Bol Hari, Bol Hari, Hari Hari Bol. Keshav Madhav Govinda Bol. Keshav Madhav Govinda Bol. Bol Hari, Bol Hari, Hari Hari Bol. Bol Hari, Bol Hari, Hari Hari Bol. Keshav Madhav Govinda 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 Bol. Bole Shri Krishna Bhagavan ki Jai. The path of Shreyas, the path of Preyas, the path that leads to the divine Shreyas, and the path that leads to the gutters, the Madhushad, meaning the Preyas. Having seen both pathways, one that takes you up and one that takes you down, which one would you choose? Think about it. As I said, the eternal good, Shreyas, and Preyas, the gutters of life. Have you seen how much families have been destroyed because of the path of Preyas? How many choose the path of Preyas over the Shreyas? And how many families have been destroyed? All because individuals are immature, ignorant, and they fall to lower species. And when you live such a life, is given in chapter 6 and chapter 7 of the Gita also, when those individuals who choose the path that leads to the gutters, it tells their level of intelligence, mandaha. It is, in the last line, preyo mandaha, the path of Preyas is low. It takes you to lower life forms. So when you take birth in another life, reincarnation, you are born in a lower life form. It is given in our Shastras in chapter 6. But those who have taken path of Shreyas, the eternal Guru, even if they did not achieve the goal of gaining moksha in this life, you will take birth in families who are you will be born in the homes of yogis. Because you are spiritually inclined, you have lived the most disciplined life, but you did not achieve the final goal of moksha in this life. In your next life, you will be born in homes of the great rishis, the great Mahatmas. It says in chapter 6. In chapter 6, verse 41, 42, 43 onwards. प्राप्य पुण्यकृतां लोकान् उषित्वा शाश्वती समाः शुचिनां श्रीमतां गेहे योगभ्रष्टोऽभिजायते अथवा योगिनामेव कुले मम कुले भवति धीमताम् एतद्धि दुर्लभतरं लोके जन्म यदीदृशम्. So these verses highlight which family you'll be born into. You'll take birth in the homes of great yogis, of spiritual masters. You'll take birth in families that are spiritually inclined. But those who have chosen the path of Preyas, what happened to them? They will end up in the lower life forms. All because of what? Because of what? Because they've chosen the path of Preyas. So, both individuals, for the sake of the physical pleasures of the world, we choose Preyas over Shreyas. And this is where you and I have a choice to make that decision, to choose between the Shreyas and the Preyas. With this, my friends, we've come to the end of our session this evening. And I'd like to thank you all for joining with us. And after the closing mantra, I'll give you the 2 or 3 invitations that we have planned out for other activities. Let us all bow our heads and close our eyes. Tvameva Mata cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravidam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Devi Deva. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vishyate. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Bole Shri Krishna Bhagwan Ki Jai. If you announcement, my friends, we have coming up this Sunday morning is our last Sunday morning satsang for the year. We never had much activities, but this is the final satsang we'll be doing for the year live at the ashram. So we're inviting you all 7:30 to 9:30 in the morning this Sunday, the 18th of December. Then the first Sunday, not New Year's Day, that will be second Sunday, and the 8th we are having our first Ganesh Puja for the year. We're inviting you all 7:30 again morning. Activities will continue at the ashram. We'll continue here Thursday night as usual, and on Sunday morning at the ashram. We also have invitation for individuals for the Hanuman Chalisa chanting coming up from January straight on till Hanuman Jayanti. So those who would like to get a session by their home or their mandir, feel free to contact us, Also the Gita chanting, the Gita Parayana, continuous chanting of the entire Gita from verse 1 to 701 verses in Gita, complete chanting of Gita every once a month by Pandita Bhidananji, myself, when Swami Prakashananji is available, and others who will join us on that exercise also. Feel free to contact us, and thank you once again, my friends, as we continue. Next Thursday, we continue again, and I'd like to thank you once again. Until then, Namaskar.